trying out some slightly different lighting. Hope this looks really good. I'm going to be getting some lighting upgrades here in the very near future, for which I'm very excited. This is something I should have done probably a long time ago, but I learn, I grow, and we make things better organically that way, right? Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, and this is AshQuest, and today I wanted to talk about the future of AshQuest as well as 2025 for AshQuest, and that means talking about all the stuff that we have accomplished, the stuff that I've been able to do, and the things that I need to thank you for. And so thank you, first and foremost, very much for making 2025 such a cool year for me personally, for me as a content creator, and for the channel that I am trying to grow and the community that I am trying to grow covertly around the channel. Thank you very much for being a part of this. I particularly want to go ahead and call out some names, a lot of names that really have contributed a lot, some of which in a shorter amount of time, others who have just been around forever. And so in not super picky of an order, but something that I did kind of order by like tier and then by length of time in the tier and all of that. Thank you very much to Nutshell, Matt McNett, Deathtone, David J. Colley, Davinoffs, 1bit1, Mr. Big B, Red Fox 1, Clemens Schmidt, Clyde Kim, Malgamus, Justin and Sarah, Dan Nastic, John Boyle, Ted Wysocki, John Timmons, Kim Jensen, CD, Glenn 1N, and then thank you very much over on the YouTube side of things for Ribby, Sack of Ham, Thomas A. W., Eric Johnson, Arnold Degans, Jeremiah W., Walt F., Oloren, Verdi Hines, Doethion, and Ike D. These are the supporters as of the time this video is recorded. And that's a lot of support. That is a lot of folks to name off, and I'm really happy and privileged and honored to do so. So thank you guys very much. These are also the names that appear at the end of every video, with, of course, with it being kept updated as people cycle in and out of the support avenues. So yeah, if you are interested in contributing to the growth of the channel in an accelerated manner, as these folks have been, you can use the Patreon link below or the YouTube link below. They functionally will do the same thing for you. This is a monetized show, and I use the money to buy more of those for wall insulation purposes, of course, and to make upgrades to this studio so that I can make better content, or so I can purchase software or training materials or whatever so that I can make content better, faster, picking one or the other, sometimes both. Two such upgrades this year are the 2 Rode mics that I was able to acquire. I think I got the video mic 2 Go this year. I might have gotten it last year. Either way, it's a great little microphone. I really love how it sounds. This is the Beacon that I've had for years, but I've also got the VideoMic NTG, and I think I'm going to use the audio from that for this video, just because I want to know for sure that I can have it there, which I've never had it there before, pointed at me, and not, have the heater sound and all of that really drowning me out. And in doing so, I can do this and not have to have my microphone taking up 3/4 of the frame. But just in case I absolutely need that, we'll bring that right back, because you never know. The funds that were acquired for this channel have also been used to do other things, like fund my trip to Gen Con 2025, which was an experience like no other for a variety of reasons. I actually got to meet Doug Hopkins, Tess Hogan, Michael, and a bunch of other folks from Avalon Hill, for which I am very grateful, because that was really cool. I need you to understand that when I nerd out about this stuff, I'm not doing it because, ooh, celebrities. I do it because, ooh, these are the minds that design stuff, either artistically or with rules, and this is all right up my alley. This is what I want to nerd out about. This is what I want to sit down and talk to folks about. Like, what made you come up with that? The DNA of that rule set, of those mechanics, where else is that? What other games did you put that in? What inspired you to make it? What are some forerunners to that? And a lot of the answers, of course, are going to be, community input probably, and just trying to make that community input work in a way that makes the game more fun for everybody. But like, you have to understand, meeting designers is so cool and rewarding for me, because that's what I want to do. And to an extent, that's what I am doing. And we'll talk a bit about that in this video as well, because I don't talk about this very often. It was also really cool to just go to Gen Con because I've never been on a trip that long before where I was the driver, and I've also never been on a trip like that where I can't say that I've not been on a trip alone that far. Well, I don't know. First time driving so far on my own. Definitely that was one of the firsts there, for being technical about it. I really, really want to go in 2026. If I can, give some more stuff away, just recognize and hang out with more people who might seem to know what the channel is or who I am or what have you. I'd like to get buff so I look really good in that knight outfit. Not a knight outfit. What would you call that? Am I joking? I don't know. We'll see. You'll see. Maybe. I talked to a lot of folks at Gen Con with the camera off, with the microphones off about their games. And next year, I'll be a lot more comfortable in this huge crowded space that only gets more and more packed with every passing second, and with the rapport that I can kind of get almost immediately by just walking up to a booth and saying, can you tell me some interesting stuff about your game or how it came to be? What is your game? But it was really cool because I got to sit down and play HeroQuest with people that I have talked to online, that I've seen comments from on the channel, that I've hung out with during live streams or Discord chats or whatever. And that was super cool. That was really, really cool. So 2025 has seen the channel be a little bit experimental and go in a few different directions. And there have been a lot of tries that really didn't pan out super well, I would say. And there have been a few things that have taken me by surprise with how well they've done. So to that end, I want to remind everybody, and I got to remind myself, AshQuest is not exclusively a HeroQuest type of content channel. The quest that is in my channel name does not refer distinctly to HeroQuest. I know that does make up 75–80% of the content here in some way, whether it's homebrew or third-party materials or expansion unboxings or editorials or what have you, but the quest comes from a lot of different games, all really, really great games. Warhammer Quest, of course, takes up an entire section of shelving back there and continues to be a tour de force to this day with the upcoming Warhammer Quest Darkwater. Even Dungeon Quest, which is one of my favorite games of all time, has got that lovely quest in it and also is current because it's actually retail available right now in its latest edition, but only in Sweden, I think. And yes, I have pondered grabbing it, but the shipping, man. The game is extremely affordable, but the shipping, oh man. But I want it. I do want it. Give me that original Drakborgen. That doesn't mean the HeroQuest content will ever go anywhere. As long as HeroQuest lives and breathes, it will have a presence here on this channel. And if it's no longer backed or supported by Avalon Hill and no longer being published, it will still live and breathe because I'm always of the belief that a game is more a property of the community, not in a legal sense. Don't take that the wrong way. Don't get it twisted, but definitely in the alive sense, the keeping it going and relevant sense. That said, I think Avalon Hill has done a fantastic job of handling the property, and I've said that before, and I'll just continue to say it. 2025 has seen a couple of new sort of stances or rules that I've been able to refine for the channel itself, one of which is my now pretty hardline stance against AI stuff being on the channel in any way, shape, or form. To that end, in 2026, I have a pledge to have no AI materials on the channel whatsoever. We're not calling attention to any of them. We're not having any exceptions. If AI appears in any form in something that I have backed or I purchase and I'm unboxing and I discover it there, then I'll probably call it out, but it won't be something that I get ahead of time knowing that it's in there. Yeah, my policies down below in the comments are actually, not the comments, the description is actually, even if I think it has AI and you tell me it doesn't, it's not going to be on the channel. Unfortunately, that is just going to vindicate some people, and I don't like that because it's going to be slightly unfair, but it is what it is because there are a lot of bad actors out there. You know, when you try to commission art yourself and you say no AI and you get like 50 people who respond to your canvas for commissions, your call for submissions, and half of them definitely use AI, but they say they don't, it's rough. And this isn't just me being a jerk. I'm talking about accounts that are pretty much set up to respond to anybody who has the keyword art commission or whatever in their post. Like the whole thing just reeks of a lack of effort and a lack of soul, and I can't stand that side of things. There have been some interesting discussions held in the comments between myself and some kind viewers who wanted to take the time and give the attention to such debates. As to my stance, I remain fairly firmly planted, and while that does seem to bug some people, they've just got to realize it's part of this entire thing. It's part of this channel, it's part of my brand, and it just is what it is. So in this coming year, I'm going to continue to branch out. I'll be a little less experimental. If an idea doesn't work, it's just not going to work, and I'll know because I'll be able to see the numbers, and I will be able to kind of wiggle a little bit depending on like what time of year it is. Do I think I presented that idea well enough for people to get the hook? Because sometimes a video just doesn't do well, and I'm like, well, I know the subject matter was great, so maybe the thumbnail just didn't, I don't know. I really want to get to a point where people just see that I released a video and they're just like, I don't care what it's about, I want to watch it because it's a consistent style and brand, and I like what Ash has to say and how he says it. That's my goal, man. That's what I want people to do. It's entirely forgivable that there is probably a majority of my audience that are like, I'm only going to watch the HeroQuest videos. It's fine. But we'll continue to branch out a little bit while we stay true to the roots. I'm going to continue to do HeroQuest editorials, unboxings, homebrew. I'm going to hopefully be able to play the game a little bit more on the channel. I did play a lot of the jam quests, but in a solo sort of honor mode way. I unfortunately just do not have the table party that I used to that was semi-regular. People and their damn jobs and their lives. And I mean, my availability is way less than it used to be as well, because now I work 5 days a week instead of just 3 long days. So of course I'm going to have less time to do stuff like this, and this means that I really have to make sure that whatever time I spend on it is very efficient, and that I do as few takes as possible, and that I really rein in the distractions and make sure that I can get things made. And it also means that I've got to be more selective about what kind of content I make. I can't just now throw a bunch of random games up on the table. Well, I want to go back to the comment I made about some content doing way better than others that surprised me. And one of the things that I think that this channel might excel at in 2026 is more Dungeon Tree or Dollar Tree videos, because those just do really well, and the last one was phenomenal. I think that it's just really accessible to go to your nearest dollar store, pick up the lowest cost stuff, and let it inspire you to make stuff for your game night. And while I was looking through the craft aisle and some of the other aisles at my local Dollar Tree, it occurred to me that I don't really have to buy new things. I can just take stuff that I have gotten from there before and reuse it in new ways. I don't really have any of that stuff. I tend to give things away pretty shortly after I acquire them, if it's for crafting, unless it's stuff I really, really wanted. So the way that it kind of is a win-win situation that I do that is if I have to go re-buy stuff, we'll all know that it's currently accessible at your local Dungeon Tree, probably. And so we can continue to do videos where we do low cost, low effort, awesome idea homebrew stuff using materials that are cheap and accessible. So that's something I want to do / continue doing. I just wanted to show you. I wanted to show you my little Rani miniature from Elden Ring. She's in chibi-fied form. She prays for my success every day. This is one of the miniatures I got from Gen Con. It was a pack of 5 or 6 little Soulsborne characters, Elden Ring and Dark Souls characters, and she was the most adorable, so she sits at my desk. The millisecond there is a pop-up parade of one of the Elden Ring characters, though, that's not just like the main character. I'm grabbing that so fast, so fast. So this would typically be the part I feel where I'm like, no, but it hasn't always been easy. Here are some of the things that were hard in 2025. Obviously, 2025 is just a train wreck of a year for a lot of reasons that I won't go into. Just absolutely nonsensical. But we got to power on, right? We still have to go about our lives. So some of what this is just me going about my schedule regardless. It's artistic self-expression, and I'll keep doing it. And if you want to watch the videos because that's your way of escaping whatever nonsensical nonsense is happening out in the nonsense world, then that's fine too. And that's not just tied to 2025. I mean, when I started doing YouTube content back in 2019, it was because COVID had pretty much ravaged the world, and my job was like, hey, you want a bunch of time off? And I'm like, I'm not gonna say no, but I need money. And they're like, well, you're not fired, but you can stay home more days per week. And I'm like, okay, well, I have absolutely no excuse not to make content now, which is what I've wanted to do since 2016. I've wanted to make YouTube content since for a long time now. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a Let's Play channel and I'm going to play video games. What kind of video games? Stupid RPG Maker games. Actually, there's this really cool tool that came out called MV3D, and it turns all of your 2D RPGs into a 3D experience. And I want to play games that were made using that tool. And so I did. And that was how Amalgam Ash was born. And then I got further into Smile Game Builder games, moved my whole setup back here, and slowly but surely we got into the unboxing of the mythic tier of HeroQuest in 2021 or whenever it arrived at my house finally. And boy howdy, things became different. It took about 6 years for Amalgam Ash to get to 5,000 subscribers. It took about less than 3 years for this channel to reach the 8,600 that it has now. So I'm really grateful for you guys for helping make that happen. But like, other than that, there haven't really been any like struggles with doing this. Some days are like bad mornings, especially now that I only have 2 days out of the week to make content. If I mess up or I forget to hit the record button and I've just been sitting here talking at the camera, or I forget to turn on the microphone or whatever, which happened yesterday when I tried to record this the first time, I sat here for like 30 minutes and I've got a 30-minute video until I look down and I realize my beacon mic's not turned on and I don't have my external Rode mic attached to my phone. We learn these lessons sometimes the hard way. I will now always hook up the Rode mic to the phone so that I have audio that I can use no matter what. And yeah, I was very upset with myself because that was 30 minutes of wasted time, and I don't want to do 30 minutes of wasted time. No, never. That's not good. I have a time limit and I can't waste the time in my time limit. But like, other than that, there's really nothing that has been bad or challenging. I mean, YouTube is a constant challenge. It's a game. You get on there, you try to figure out the best way to make a thing, present a thing that you've made, and then sit back and then it's beyond your control. Sometimes I like doing live premieres because there are some folks who make the premieres, and when that happens, that helps kind of boost the actual video itself. But it's more rewarding and fun just to have people in the channel. I mean, I'm just blessed that people want to come and hang out and chat about anything at all anyway. But not everybody likes to do the live premieres because you can't fast forward through those. When you enter in to watch, you're entering in at whatever point it happens to be on while it's premiering. And instead of the video is there for you to just use and abuse at your leisure. And so that also means I gotta balance the type of content that I premiere. All this is pretty nerdy talk. It's not really going to go anywhere, but rest assured, I'm paying attention to what you guys like about things, whether you're vocal about it or not, because the metrics don't lie. The metrics. We're going to talk about the metrics now. People have been asking me to talk about the Wizards of Morcar leaks and stuff, and like, I don't really want to present all the leaks like I have in the past. I think that it would be better if I learned about them a little more organically and was able to contain my surprise this time when I open the box. So I think that this won't be the avenue for you to see the leaks and to see my reaction to that stuff. I've seen enough of leaks because of the photos that were shown about the miniatures, and I gotta tell you, I ate crow because I was like, there's no way that those are real this time. Etsy? No, they're not real. Those aren't real. They would look really, really good if they were real. I like those designs. Those are really good designs. And then it turned out they were real. And there were some quality defects, I think, that were perceived by some people in the image of the miniatures that were leaked about the figures, the miniatures of Wizards of Morcar before its release, of course, and that made people think, oh no, they're cheaping out, they're not spending as much time on quality and the like. But no, I think those miniatures look fantastic. What they have now officially revealed by having the storefront pages across Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, and so on, they look awesome. And I've said this in my Wizards of Morcar review video that I'm super stoked and happy about this expansion for probably like 5 to 10 reasons. One, it comes with so much content. That's something to be happy about in and of itself. It's a ton of content. 2, we have all of these different men-at-arms in these different colors, which means that we can now do different things with them homebrew-wise. We have these different factions we can now create. We can have like war scenarios. We can have all kinds of cool stuff because it comes with a crap load of these multicolored miniatures. And if you buy more than one box, which I know a lot of you do, I know a lot of you buy more than one box. Some of you have this 3-box rule. I think Wizards of Morcar might benefit from you having a 4-box rule. But anyway, you can have these more massive types of skirmishes. This version, this version of this expansion will battle masters at this point. C, the sculpts are extremely good. I really like, I know that that's a point of, it's subjective. It's, do you like the art or not? I love it. I really think that the style, of course, is very, very consistent with Avalon Hill's previous releases. But I just think more than that, very cool choices were made. 4, this is a huge milestone. This is the second of the previously EU and UK only expansions, and now they have tailored it, tweaked it, released it. It's going to have extra content. This is also the last official expansion that was ever released that they have now been able to remaster and re-release. And again, it's just an amazing achievement. So I have to applaud Avalon Hill for that. They did a great job with everything that they've done, and this is another testament of them caring, because you can't make something this cool look like this, be presented like this, and have this quality attached to it without having a team that cares. And that's like the most important thing that you can have. And 7, because I've lost count. Yeah, no, I know that there's other stuff that people want. There's a call for them to release like the Dave Morris novels and the Advanced Quest, Dark Company. I know. I don't think that stuff's impossible at this point. I think that it is possible. I don't know how likely it is, but it is definitely possible in my mind that they can do all of that. There's folks even right now in the newer Avalon Hill Discord talking about, well, you should release the Japanese version of the game, HeroQuest, which for those of you who don't know, it has different rules and a different quest book. Like, there's a lot of similarities, a lot of stuff that is the same. And of course, all of the miniatures and the furniture on the board are all the exact same. But the spells the acquisition of spells is different. There is levels. There is different scenarios. The Legend of Nifu Island is so different from everything that we have experienced as HeroQuest players in the West. And I think it would take more administrative effort and more work on all fronts to get that and release it into maybe an expansion, maybe, and I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility, no matter how unlikely it is, a new base game version, a new game system. But whether it happens completely remains to be seen. But I think if people are still loud and they're still vocalizing how much they would love to see this as an official remaster, re-release thing, I think it could get some gears turning at Avalon Hill. So kind of circling back to the Wizards of Morcar, which again, also awesome that they kept Morcar in the title. And we'll know what Morcar is soon if you don't know already. But also, I need to kind of disclaim, if you don't know, there was a shipment of Wizards of Morcar that made it, or shipments that made it to one or more places in the Australia, New Zealand region. And these had a nice big sign on them. I'm grossly oversimplifying this. And it said, do not open till February, March, the official release date. And the stores just kind of said, I didn't see a sign. What sign? And they sold ahead of time. So there are people that have Wizards of Morcar, the official, actual release, in their hands now. And in response to that, Avalon Hill, they huffed and they puffed and they said, you know what? We're not going to hold any stores to this store date. We did some calling around, and if anybody wants to sell it now, they can sell it now. So if the official release date's not going to change, the official release date is still what it is, because there's going to be conceivably a store out there that says, I'm not going to do it until the official release date. But you might be able to go to your friendly local game store and say, bro, can you sell me the Wizards of Morcar, bro? I know you have it in the back, bro. I know. And you could do it. You can do it because Michael said you could sell it to me, bro. This is the official Discord, bro. I know. You can. I got $50, bro. I got $50. I can give you this, and we can slip a 20 over the counter, over the counter, because you can't. Usually at the counters there's glass. There's nothing on, bro. I can tip you, bro. Sell me the game, bro. Sell me the game. This isn't based on anything that I've said to my local dealer, friendly local game dealer, And one more thing I wanted to talk about with just Wizards of Morcar, really excited about those Boons of Heroism because that is something you'll see all over the wild if you're looking for homebrew HeroQuest stuff. There are so many creators that have made these sort of, that's not an ability, it's not a treasure or an artifact, it's not a spell, it's something that will apply to your hero and give them a bonus of some kind. There's a lot of those out there in the homebrew world, but this is Avalon Hill saying, all right, we've made a way for you to incorporate all of that into the actual game using rules as written, and we've even given you a handful of cards that have these boons on them. There are literally, wow, hundreds, if not thousands of these physical cards out there in the homebrew world that people have just been printing off for themselves. And of course, there are those that are, available at retail or print on demand from third-party sellers with the HeroQuest IP removed, but rules as written, none until Wizards of Morcar. And now I'll just go ahead and read one of them, Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper is a boon. Keep track of the number of monsters you reduce to 0 body points for each quest. For your service, the realm rewards you with 25 gold coins per monster defeated at the end of the quest. We've got that ability, third party. We've got that thing going on, third party, or some variation of it, right? But this is finally a rules as written way to increase the amount of gold you get by killing monsters, which is just so cool. They're just making it accessible out of the box now. No further purchases required. The game system, obviously, and then Wizards of Morcar, but then nothing else after that. Chances are a lot of folks are going to have those third-party cards too, but now you'll be able to use them. You can just count them in as boons of heroism. And if you haven't done that already, if you haven't made your own homebrew, this is going to incentivize you to do so, and it's going to inspire you to do so, which is just another, I think, very deliberate design aspect of what Avalon Hill brings to the table with HeroQuest as fellow fans of the game. It's just so dang cool. There's just so many things that are cool about this upcoming expansion. It gives me so much hope for the brand because I didn't lack any anyway, but it is a downer to constantly have people be like, nah, I think First Light's the last one because obviously it's a lower cost effort so they can recoup some of the costs. Or obviously Crypt of Perpetual Darkness is going to be the last one because have you seen the amount of money it takes now to make a game, and that's why there's hardly any materials in the box. This just vindicates so many people because it was never about that. This was in the works and now it's coming, and for some people it's here, and it has so much content that all of those statements I just rattled off become complete nonsense. And that might seem a little bit antagonistic to say. And if you didn't have a lot of faith in HeroQuest before, but you were expressing it in a civil manner, I deeply apologize. I'm not trying to mock anybody who had that sinking feeling, because I understand when you look at something and you don't see something that you want to see, and you see the signs because maybe you're looking for them, that something is going down in quality or going down in sales or going down in creativity or effort, that makes you worried and concerned. I totally understand that, but I'm very happy that this basically proves that that's just not the case. And I do have to say, it's pretty much every release. I think after Against the Ogre Horde release, people were saying it, and it's like, why? What brings you to this idea after this expansion with these massive ogres and this 10 quest book and this new mode of play and this giant arena tile? Those aren't cheap to make. You don't just throw it in there as a freebie. Administrative effort was poured into a game mode. And you think this is the last one, the last hurrah? So going into 2026 also, I want to make sure that this channel does not become any sort of sterile unboxing and rules overview type of channel. There are some videos where I do that, and I'm just like, there's not enough me in this video. And I don't mean that to sound egotistical, like I need to be in front of the camera all the time or anything like that. I mean, it didn't feel like it was coming from me. It didn't have my soul in it. And there are quite a few unboxing videos that I've done that you will never see because I deleted them after I made them and ran them through my editing software and said, I don't like this, and nothing that I do to it is going to make it feel like I created something that was worthwhile to me. So I need to make sure that I continue to just express myself and put myself into everything that I make. And so I won't feel like that, and you will be able to continue enjoying the content that I put out, hopefully. I hope that you would. If I have to make a sterile unboxing video and people are like, we'd rather have that, I don't know how I'd feel. I think there's other channels you can go to for that. There are cleaner channels you can go to for that. There are channels that are trying to do that, that deserve your attention. I'm not trying to do that. I want to open up the box, look under the lid, complain that there's not artwork showing you how to assemble stuff. I want to make the miniature smooch every now and again. I want to look at the board and make fun of it because it won't HeroQuest, even though we're looking at a game like, I don't know, Scrabble. Actually, Scrabble would HeroQuest almost perfectly. It's a huge board with nothing but skirmish. The letters would be line of sight blockers and or areas of control, and the letters on the blocks would act to tiles would actually tell you what kind of objective it would be or what kind of effect it would have. Okay, Connect 4. Connect 4 would absolutely HeroQuest. You could play a game of wit and or skill against the evil wizard player once you approach his lair, and he's invincible unless you can break this skill. I can't stop. It's a blessing and a curse. Name drop your unHeroQuestable game in the comments below, and I will take your challenge and completely destroy it. But we're going to be looking at the videos that have performed the most in 2025, the most relevant ones. We're definitely going to be trying to copy those in terms of content and style and make sure that I deliver something, not copy, that's not the best word to use. I want to make sure that I take the spirit of what's there and continue it on, because obviously if it has a lot of views, it resonated with a lot of people. There are still videos that have way more views on them than I have subscribers, so it's like, I want those people too. I want them all. I want to outgrow and outpace other channels of the same kind, but also I don't want there to be other channels of the same kind. I want it to be a different kind of channel, so it doesn't take away from anybody else. I did say I was going to talk about this, but I also want to create a prototype version of my Project F. And Project F is something that I do show off in the Discord, which is of course paywalled, and I'll segue into that in just a moment. But Project F started off as maybe a collection of modular assets that you could combine with other dungeon crawlers. And I decided I would rather just create my own dungeon crawler because I like making games. I've made games. There are a lot of games on my itch.io page that I made. And I love game design, and I love the continuation of learning how to make better games and techniques to apply to make games faster and better and more immersive. And this isn't just video games, although that is what Amalgamash was about. It was about, let's play games made in these engines that are accessible to you if you want to make a game. And then while I'm playing these games, you can see what they're like. You can see what the engine's capable of. And then I'll also make videos about the engines, so that you can see how to use them and see the accessibility and be inspired to make something. This is kind of that, but from a board game perspective. But I'm slowly getting into where I can order pieces and kind of pick which vendors I would like to have based on the quality of the parts and kind of how lenient they are towards very particular sizes and other things that I have that I kind of demand for these parts. And at some point, and I really hope that this is 2026, but this is a very ambitious project, so I'm just not sure. I don't have a timeline yet in place. I would like to get a copy of the game that is completely made up of all kinds of different sourced materials that I was able to get professionally printed, and art sources that I've commissioned, that I have the license to distribute, that aren't anything to do with AI. And I want to create a crowdfund for this game once I show it to you and generate some excitement for it. So Amalgamash Studios will eventually have a dungeon crawling board game under its belt. Going into 2026, I'm also working on one other project that I think a lot of you folks who started watching the video, you probably aren't still around to hear this part, but if this was at the beginning of the video, I think it would have a lot of attention. I want to create an event whereby people submit their quests, and it would be similar to the game jams that I have run, and the event might be run like a game jam actually, pretty one-to-one. But this time, instead of vying for some top spot in a judged competition, it's a curated collection to go into an anthology that is published. And I would really like to do that. But to do that, I would like to play that game very clean and above board. And so to do that, I am developing a set of assets that you'll be able to use that are not tied to any unlicensed IP. And I'm also developing some contract language so that everybody who enters understands that they're doing so to get their stuff published with attribution to them. And then we will, the plan is to print this anthology, have it printed and have it available to the masses. So if you're down for making a quest, submitting it, having me go over the content to make sure that it falls in line with the spirit of the event, and then we possibly edit it together if need be, and then it goes into a book of quests sorted in order of difficulty, just for my own sake, or maybe category. I haven't decided that yet. This is still really early on. The contract is nearly done, but everything else is very early. Then you might be very, very excited about such an event. So, a new type of quest jam. We are absolutely going to do the 2026 HeroQuest quest jam. Of course, around summer sometime. I don't know exactly when. I don't know exactly how I'm going to run it yet or what the prizes will be or anything like that. I just know the event is going to happen, so I might just take a day to decide all the rest of that stuff. But that is pretty much it for plans for the channel. I just hope that you look forward to more of the same, but better, because 2026, I've been talking a little bit about a season 3 of AshQuest, or an AshQuest 3rd edition, I thought would be a more clever way to call it. But a sort of new era in which the content that I make is elevated to be better edited, better shot, better filmed, better equipment, always something I struggle with, more evergreen, more entertaining, more educational. Wow, those all start with E. It's like the 3 E's. The 3 Musketeers. But I just hope it continues to be a source of inspiration, education, and entertainment for you. Yeah, the inspiration. That starts with an I. I-E-E-E. We'll call it the Firewire Initiative. That's how you know I work in tech. That's how you know. Merch. If not a lot of people are interested in the year-long merch crawl program, I'll get rid of it. I don't want to have a tier that nobody subscribes to anywhere. And I will probably look into making some merch so that I can just kind of print it on demand and send it to people if they pay one flat rate instead of some subscription thing like what Patreon has. Because honestly, I think that entire model is garbage. It's very good for loyalty, and it seems to work really, really well for a lot of people, but I'm not sure that I'm that kind of people for whom it will work well, so I'm not totally sure about the Patreon tiers, but it just depends on what people want and how they want to contribute to the channel. So if there's people in that tier actively giving money, it's going to stay alive. It'll stay alive as long as you have it on life support. Yep, and that's pretty much it. So I want to thank you for hanging around with me for this nearly an hour of record time. I don't know how long the actual video is going to be once I cut out the silences and coughs and snorts and sneezes and such, but I do value the kind attention that you have given the channel, and I hope that it will only further you in some way. I think 2026 will see the 10,000 subscriber goal, the goal post, absolutely met, and maybe we'll be able to grow exponentially from there. But either way is fine. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next exciting adventure. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your journey, and I wish you a fantastic year going into 2026. Bye for now.